If you'd like a great small project for your lathe, then I'd like to suggest making a tool handle. They're easy and they're very useful, and there's an unlimited number of different designs and looks that you can achieve. Take a look at these screwdriver handles. They were turned on a lathe, but they're not round, they're oval. That oval makes for a really comfortable grip. Well, how did we do this? I've turned a blank round. I'm going to fit a neck for a ferrule, although I'm going to do that on this end of the blank. I'm going to go ahead and turn this basic shape, and that's where the similarities end. And that's when we're going to start with offset turning. Well, with the basic shape established, it's time to create our offset turning. To do that, I'm going to back off the tailstock, and I'm going to move the center point over about 1/4 of an inch. So as I rotate this by hand, you can see that the turning is in fact offset. When I start the lathe up, I'm going to see a solid image in the center of my turning, and then I'm going to see a ghost image of the offset. What I'll do is go ahead and remove the stock so that that ghost image almost disappears, and that should give me a nice pleasing oval shape. Well, that pretty much completes our tool handle. Now, with offset turnings, it's necessary to offset on 2 opposing sides to get a symmetrical handle. But it's a fun technique. It creates a handle that's very easy on the hand, and I think it might be something you'd like to try. For our last tool handle project, I need to make a new handle for this framing chisel. Now, it's a little different than the other tool handles we've made because this is a socket-style chisel. And so our handle needs to taper and fit perfectly into that socket. So every time it's struck, it gets tighter and tighter. Another detail of this handle is that it has a slam ring on it. So just as we did with the ferrules, I'm going to be using a piece of steel tubing, and we'll create a neck on our turning that this fits tightly onto. To start making this handle, I've already roughed out a cylinder. Next, I'm going to mark the length, a shoulder for the slam ring, and I'll go ahead and create a neck for the slam ring, verifying the diameter with my calipers. Once I've done that, I'll use a roughing gouge and gently taper this handle down into what I think is pretty close to the correct fit for that socket. At that point, I'm going to have to stop the lathe, remove my blank, and trial fit it into the socket. And I'll probably have to do that several times. So since I'm removing the blank from the lathe, I want to go back to that little reference dot I made on the shaft earlier and put a little reference mark on my blank so I can always put it back in the same position on the drive spur. Well, here's the finished handle. I've applied the slam ring, and I've got a pretty good solid fit inside that socket. So there you go. Great, useful, fun projects for your lathe.